If you are brand new to organizing, welcome. This is an exciting journey to be on. And the thing that I love about organizing is it's a journey. Just like everything else in life, you're not going to master it maybe on the first time, but it is something that you can work on and then improve and then continue to work on. And if it's not working, then that's okay. It just means you haven't found a system that's working for you yet. There's not one way to do everything. It's a work in progress, friends. It's not going to be perfect on the first time, and just ebb and flow and figure out what's working, what's not working, and how can I do this better. If you have questions, drop comments. I will do my best to answer them as I can amidst crazy life. Hey friends, it is Robin. Today we are going to be working on my pantry. It has definitely been a working project for a while. It has been organized, it has been reorganized, and today it's kind of got a lot going on. Let me show you where we're starting. I've had lots of different organizational systems over the years. I've discovered that having bins and baskets, things situated, help both me and my children really find what we're looking for and then put them back. When this got really out of control, it was just stuff was getting shoved. And I think part of it was because the system had fallen apart and the items that my kids were accessing or needing or using were changing, and I hadn't kept up with that change. The great thing about having a general situation set up is that if you have a functional area, it will usually stay relatively intact. What happened is I didn't maintain it after a while. So this is what happens, is it didn't stay intact. But generally speaking, like the pretzels, the goldfish, the hot chocolate bin, like all this stuff stays very well functional once it is like situated. But getting it situated is half the battle. I think one of the things that people don't actually talk about is the decision fatigue that comes with organizing. In this Getting Real with Robin moment, I'm going to tell you, decision fatigue is hitting, and it's hitting hard. So let's do one thing at a time. For this situation, I already have got some shelves that are in here that work really well for separating out items. There's a shelf there that you can't see. There's a shelf down here that you can't see. And there's a shelf at the top. So I've already figured out there's baskets that go below and what goes above. But things have just admittedly gotten shoved. And we just need some help. So I'm going to start with the can shelf because I feel like I need what some organizers call a quick win. And I'm feeling like this could be a very quick win. I'm going to be sorting as I go. So I'm setting stuff aside for the smoothies for kiddo and then other snacks that I might need to refill or have like in different spaces. So that's kind of my angle right now. This is the point where I tell you put on some tunes because those tunes are going to keep you going. The one that I always think about when I'm doing this is I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Now I've got peanut butter that does not fit here on the shelf. I think this is why things get shoved in different random locations. And we have Team Creamy and Team Crunchy. If you're creamy or crunchy, you know I personally am Team Creamy. And for those people who are Team Crunchy, I love that for you. I'm thinking that all the peanut butter is going to come out, and I think I'm going to do something different with it, and I don't have a final answer. Things that I didn't know were in here. Oh, these are really great electrolyte things. Oh, you know what? I know where they should live with these other things. That's where they should live. They can all be friends because friends should go together. Friends go with friends, go with friends. That one's not open. That is a separate friend. That one's not open. That's a separate friend. Okay, this is great news. I have some favorite flavors and some favorite brands, and I apparently just threw these in. I must have gotten a whole bunch once upon a time. I love tropical punch. Do y'all have a favorite flavor of different hydration drinks? And honestly, now I do a lot of coconut water. So I'm not buying as many packets, but there are times like if I'm out flying or whatever, that I do have different packets with me because when you're flying that much, it's easy to get dehydrated. And so, oh, these are Gatorade brand. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these all in the door. So now that I can find them easier. And then depending on what's happening in life, I don't think my kids like these flavors. So these are a Robin problem. So I'm gonna put them up here. Now I'm gonna put these in the door so that all of the whatever drinks are together, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. So, getting there. These, my friends, are going to go back up in here for a day that everybody is feeling great, and then I will know that those are there. Okay, so these don't need to be in there right now. Okay, so what I've got going on in here is we do have SpaghettiOs, we have some soups, a couple of side dishes. So I know I got my soups. Pretty easy to find that stuff. This basket here, ooh, I already know what's going on in here. I'm gonna actually break it down so I can show you in case this is helpful for anybody in your life. In this basket, I have got lots of things. Some pasta, some more pasta, some more pasta. I love ramen in general, and I have to have my ramen. So it's kind of gotten muddled up in here. Boom, baby. Like Emperor's New Groove. Okay, I am happy with this basket. It just needed resituated. I already created a structure of a pasta basket. So if you've not yet created a pasta basket or something similar that you can pull down, grab out, whatever, highly recommend it. And here's a pro tip. If you are a busy parent or even a busy person and you're trying to streamline and simplify your life, something that we did on Fridays, especially like during the school year, is we have a pasta night. And our pasta night is always typically like angel hair, because that's the kids' favorite, or spaghetti. And then they have frozen meatballs and typically a canned sauce, depending if I have time to cook our favorite one or not. And it is just like easy. It's something we can get literally dinner on the table in like 15 minutes. And if I want to throw in some frozen green beans or whatever, perfect. And then any leftover meatballs, we can do meatball subs the next day, and leftover pasta. So it kind of makes a really easy dinner, minimal cleanup, and everybody loves it. I love having an easy like Friday night meal. So if you have a favorite Friday night meal, drop it in the comments, let us know. I'm always taking advice, and I'm sure other parents and people will as well appreciate that. Let's pop back over to the pantry and show you what else I've got going on in there. Up here on this shelf, I've got some, well, apparently more ramen is hiding back here. Rigatoni noodles. I have plans to make what I call lazy lasagna. And it's essentially like a one pot supper. And then rotini is our other favorite. So those are hiding back there, and that's where I'm going to put the extra red sauce. Actually, well, yeah, because if I'm pulling out pasta, I will decide if I want red sauce. But here's the deal. I'm going to put that in the corner, make that easier to grab, and then my basket's going to fit in front of it. I am happy with the shelf, and if I didn't have more time, I would be happy to just stop here. I do happen to have more time today, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the next shelf. If you are a person who has to do things in stages or doesn't have a lot of time to do a lot of things, give yourself permission that it's okay to like work on one section at a time. In fact, if I was just going to do one section, I would work on the bottom because there's a whole bunch of stuff shoved under there and I need to sort it out. But I've got time for all the things today. Okay, next shelf. I am thinking I'm going to move the bread, because the bread, my friend, normally I have this bread shelf, but the bread shelf is getting attacked by other snacks. So I'm going to actually pull this stuff out a little bit at a time and see what's going on here. So one of my kiddos, that's what's going to go over here, is these things. They are needing snacks on the pretty regular. So I think, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move these down because I've got more granola bars. All right, hang tight. Switcherooski. When we travel on a trip, I take them in a bag. And those apparently either we didn't end up using or I didn't take so many bags. So they're already rebagged. So I'm going to just leave them there. Rebagged? They're just bagged, not rebagged. I don't know what I'm saying. Obviously. It's fine. All right. Now, and you can see how like working in sections is going to make my life a little bit easier. Actually, I want to move these over. And there's a method to my madness here. Maybe it's just my brain that works this way. Everybody likes these little sticks. Whoop. And these are only liked by some of the people. So they're going to go on the far side over there for grab and go. There's a kid that's coming for a snack because they can see what I'm up to. They're like, Mommy. Go look by the hot chocolate machine. I got some more things. All the children, they're all here. All right, hang tight, folks. I'll be back. Where I'm at now is I've got the beef jerky sticks in here. I swapped the granola bars around because that was going to work a little bit better. Now I'm clearing off the shelf. So I have gotten a lot of stuff that I want to talk about because I need to ask kids if they're going to eat them or I'll give them away. There was one time my daughter was in food therapy. We caught a whole bunch of different cereals and we have some leftovers and stuff that just got shoved and shoved and shoved and shoved. And so I'm giving myself permission to take a moment to deep breathe that time in life is over. And this stuff I don't need in my cabinet if we're not going to use it. There might be a neighbor or somebody else in my neighborhood, friend, whatever, that might appreciate some of these things. And if we're not using them, it's okay to lose it. If you're not using it, you can lose it. Let it go. Else of that, let it go. So these are going to double check with the kids, but I don't think the boys want these. And so I will probably get rid of these. Although these were a favorite when I was a kid. I just don't need them a whole lot now. Breakfast favorite by a kiddo. These need to be in a place where they're going to find them. And there's more pasta stuff hiding back here. So I need to put that with its pasta friend on the upper shelf. And yeah, I'm going to dig that out. This is our chip basket. This works really well for holding the chips, but I just need to see what's going on in that basket. Here's that pasta sauce I knew I had somewhere. So that friend can go right there. These are angel hair. These are a favorite. I'm going to go right on top in the back. Perfect. And then I'm going to tidy up the shelf here. Okay, actually, I also have decided I wanted to put the bread up, but I think I'm going to keep the bread down by the peanut butter because I think it will actually get used if I put it right by the peanut butter. That's going to work out well. I've also discovered we have an excessive amount of crackers, and it's unreal. They're all in a basket, but somebody keeps buying crackers because they don't think we have any, and so deep breath. It's all right. This happens to all of us. I have solved my problem. This basket, I labeled the top creamy and I've got a crunchy, and I'm going to just put these little ones in front of it. And now everything has a home, and the overflowing cracker basket will hopefully not be a problem. Now, this basket is now empty, which is a great problem to have. And I'm going to think about what I'm going to put in this basket. And now I think we're ready to go through the chip basket. Let's go dive in there. Are we there yet? Not quite. I'm going to go through this basket. We're going to talk about the contents and what's happening. And then we're going to see if there's anything we need to get rid of. Most of this stuff pretty easily is going to be used. And so for the most part, there's probably not going to be a lot of get rid of stuff in here, but we'll find out. Why? In the chip basket, they're not friends. In the chip baskets, mangoes are not friends. No. Why? In the chip baskets. They're not friends. Friends go together. Why are these random things in my chip basket, my friend? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't answer that question. I don't have any idea. I don't know. What goes in the chip basket? Chips. And apparently pretzels. I would not look in there for that. Those are all the chips we have. Okay. That's it. Why were there other things in here? I have no idea. Chip basket goes there. 2 shelves done. Now we're getting down. I'm going to show this to you a little closer. Now we're getting down to the shelves that are extra doomy because they are just getting very messy very quickly. Down here in this section, I've got a lot of things happening. I've got some like protein powder mix, the fruit and some snacks, and then some chocolates and other treats. I'm going to start with this shelf and clear it out and then put stuff back because I can't justifiably say I have any idea what's happening with this shelf or the shelf below it because as you can see, they're just like overflowing. Right. What is working in here are these OXO. These are my favorite. I don't know if you're an OXO fan. I'm an OXO fan. They're pop top. The kids get them in, they put them out, they put them away. These are fantastic. So those are working really well. Somebody ate all my chocolates. When the kids were little, I said, you can have 2 kids. Just make sure you read me the fortune. No fortunes have been read to me. Whew. All done. Just kidding. Here we go. So I'm going to put back what is working first. That seems to work well for my brain. There are sometimes I ask myself, why do I have 2 baskets of pretzels? Because this will get eaten in a day. Whew. Whatever. My theory is calories in are a win. If you are a parent who has a kid with some food difficulties for whatever reason, and you understand, if you are a parent who has children that eat food, lucky you. There are those of us who are just thrilled if our children eat anything, and that is where I'm at in life. And we've had an amazing team of occupational therapists that we've worked with. And yes, I have made my own baby food. I have done all the things. I have read the books. I've done the stuff. Do you think I got here because I wanted to be here? No, I got here because I am desperate and surviving. Welcome to survival mode. If that is you, you're on the right train. Been on survival mode for a while, and life happens, and sometimes things get set, and sometimes you have a pantry that's overflowing because you have snacks that they ate and then they stopped eating, and then you don't know if they're going to eat. Or the off-brand of Nutella from Target, thank you Target, does not in fact taste quite the same as the other one. And I go back to calories in are a win. Now I can definitely tell you from a little further down the line that we now have a lot more success with food than we did before. And we are in a really good place food-wise, and that brings me a lot of joy that there is success in the food department. I don't know how you're feeling. I'm feeling a little tired. This is why I've been putting off the pantries, because I don't want to deal with the room of doom, the doom room. It's a lot. It's got a lot. Are you hydrating? Because I put my cup down here somewhere. It's right here. Let's hydrate. Hang tight. Ugh. Okay. I think one of the things that people don't actually talk about is the decision fatigue that comes with organizing. So we're going to tell you I'm a mom. I've got 3 kids. Had a crazy awesome life before kids. Have a crazy awesome life after kids. Chaotic, messy, real, all of it. I'm just kind of a lot. There's just a lot going on. So in this getting real with Robin moment, I'm going to tell you decision fatigue is hitting, and it's hitting hard. So let's do one thing at a time. This, I've got Cheez-Its in one, and this is going to be probably goldfish. I know my daughter had them out. They're in a silver bag. I do not see said silver bag, which means they went somewhere, which is not where they belong. So I'm going to leave this for goldfish. Whenever I find the goldfish, they'll be ready to rock and roll. Those 3 are going to stay there. Those are a 5-minute project. Those are extra overflow sweets. I'm not messing with those. I know exactly what's in there. I found it. Are you a person who likes to watch those decanting videos? I'm not. I don't get joy out of that sound like some people do. I get joy out of this sound. Like you won. Now, my friend, you're asking, but Robin, you have extra goldfish. Where are those going to go? Boy, I'm glad you asked. I have no idea. It's not a right now problem. It's in a little bit problem. I've been sitting here long enough working on this project that I realized 2 things. The first is I didn't take a before picture, which is so unlike me. So I took a make project picture because that's where I'm at right now. And then I also realized that my I like to move it song is, if you don't use it, lose it. If you don't use it, lose it. If you don't use it, lose it. Okay. Obviously, I'm getting a little slap happy from working on this stuff. Okay, so I think down here, I'm just going to dump because I don't know what's going on. Oh, I do know what's going on. Tootsie Rolls. If you have a kid who has any type of food issue and they're working on oral sensory stuff, Tootsie Rolls can be a very pleasant situation. We also have pink Starburst up here because that is one that we kind of oscillate through between Starburst and Tootsie Rolls because sometimes they just like want to chew on something. So that's why we have a big massive bag of those in here. And I don't know what else. Oh, the cookies. Yes, let's just dump. It's clean. And it's actually a mess down here, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna put that back in. This sorting is gonna go a little bit better than the other sorting. I apparently had a lot of hot chocolate going on, so I'm gonna make a new hot chocolate basket. The great thing about having a general situation set up is that if you have a functional area, it will usually stay relatively intact. What happened is I didn't maintain it after a while. So this is what happens is it didn't stay intact. But generally speaking, like the pretzels, the goldfish, the hot chocolate bin, like all this stuff stays very well functional once it is like situated, but getting it situated is half the battle. Now I will tell you over time, sometimes things get tossed in, like my chip basket. I don't know why the pretzels, I still don't know why the pretzels were in there, but the beauty is once you give it a little refresh, I really love the word refresh or reset, it usually can stay pretty well. And if it's not staying, then you got to think through what's not working. I think this is going to be my overflow basket. Maybe we're going to think about it. But basically, the overflow basket of open things, I think is going to go right there. And then also, do you like these as much as I do? Or are you more of a chocolate fan? Or did you impulse buy the butterbeer ones? I would not impulse buy these again. I mean, I'm glad I tried them. I don't really think that they were my favorite or worth it. So, for whatever that's worth, it's my product review on my goldfish. So, those are like up and coming snacks or things that they might enjoy, or things I could eat with Nutella or peanut butter. So that's where that's going to go. Ooh, this is where my pretzels should go. Because sometimes I just like want something and I don't know what I want. Yep, that's going to be the winner. I'm feeling solidly good about that. Now, I will tell you on these baskets, I have some binder clips and some note cards. I may actually label some of these. These are from Target, also known as Target. I don't know who came up with that. I just like that it sounds French. Bonjour. These are also from Target. These are also from Target. And they have one more size, which I don't have right now. I am going to kind of plug and play what's going to fit in this basket. I don't know about you, but I feel like this is like the bonus round. Welcome to Does It Fit in the Basket? Your host, Robin, today is figuring out that does not work, but it does work that way. So one of my favorite tips is that if you have something that is working, you don't have to use everything in a basket, but this is going to help my Rice Krispie treat stay put. So I can kind of like section it out. Some pro tips for drawers too. I like these ones because I don't know if you saw this, but they kind of flex a little bit. So they're a little flexible, which is nice because they're kind of an ish fit. So if I take this out, those aren't going to like spill all over the place, which is like a pro tip for you're not making a mess I'm not making a mess every time. Does MOM stand for Manager of Messes? I've been wondering this. Anybody want to chime on that? I feel like at some point I'll do a post about it, but I've not done it yet. All right, that's going to work out swell. Okay. Now I've got to figure out what's going to happen with the Tootsie Rolls. I do not have a good answer for these Tootsie Rolls because they don't have a container. They don't have a home. They're homeless. The Tootsie Rolls are homeless. Okay. These are going to go in here, but I'd like them to actually be in a little bit more accessible container. So I am going to try one of these in here. Oh, it fits. Also, a Target basket, the Y-Weave. These are my favorite. I like these. Okay, we're going to actually stop and talk about baskets. I like these for multiple reasons. When we were full-time living in an RV, these baskets fit really well in deeper cabinets. So the long, skinny ones, and they acted like a drawer. I could pull them in and out. The other thing that I really like about them is they are from the top to the bottom. They're not what's it called, like tapered in. They're like vertical. So they work really well in the space because the whole area of the space is getting used. And if you've ever been in an RV or lived in an RV or are currently a full-timer in an RV, high five. Love me RV life. Absolutely love RV life. spent 3 years traveling full time, had never owned an RV, had camped as a kid, but never in an RV. And it is like a little hotel on wheels, or a little apartment on wheels, if you will. Anyway, so when I started organizing our RV, I got these baskets and a lot of different ones. The Container Store actually has some that are really great for an RV. I think they're called like pantry bins that fit perfectly in the cabinet. So if you're an RVer looking for very specific sizes, check out the Container Store uh, pantry bins. There's some different sizes. I think Target, Walmart now may have some different options, but I don't know consistently if those are always in stock or if they're seasonal. But yeah, so Target typically has this size, the wider size, and then they have like the taller size that are up there. And I love them because they're very functional, multifaceted. They do really great stuff. So a little plug for Target. Kiddos who use these things will always look on the same shelf because I have, do I say I've trained my children? I have, yeah, I guess that's the right word. I guess I've trained them. I have, what's the word in a job? We play this game a lot. Like, what's the word for when you're in a job oriented? Orientated? Is that a word? I don't know. Oriented my children in the pantry. Orientated? Oriented. Y'all. Okay, so I've oriented my children in the pantry. They know, generally speaking, what they're looking for. I think this is going to work out really well. I have a little bit of extra space on the side. Conveniently, it looks like there's some wine that fits there. Oh, but you're supposed to store wine on the side because if they've got a cork. Is this one a cork one? I'm not going to open it up. I don't know. I guess I will do it on its side because if they got a cork, you're supposed to keep the cork there. Oh, that works. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that's great. If I wanted to, I could put a shelf riser in here. These shelves are fixed. They don't move. So I added a shelf riser on these other ones. The bottom one I didn't. I don't know if the height I measure. This is my measurement tool. This is roughly 12 inches. You should check yours out. See how much it is. So this is over 12 inches. Those are 12. So it looks like those are roughly the same size. See what I did there? Yeah, pro tip. That's how mom measures. I'm very happy with the bottom shelf. I need to decide what's going to go here. I had my protein powder originally there. May or may not decide to do that again. And I need to assess the situation with the stuff that I've pulled out that's on the counter. So there's some stuff that I need to ask the kids, like if they're going to use or not. Hey friends, this is a live update. I am making really great progress. I had to stop for dinner, a couple of side quests. Some children needed some stuff, and I have moved some things around. And I'm actually currently deciding that I think I'm going to add labels to the baskets because I got kids' input. I'm going to flip this around and show you what I got going. Current progress, I pulled stuff down a little bit of a shelf at a time, but I've shifted some stuff around and decided that some of this stuff, which was in my overflow cabinet down here, I actually decided I wanted up here for multiple reasons because sometimes there's different people who need different things. And this is going to be a little bit easier for people to see like the frequent things like the granola bars or the pretzels or the mangoes or whatever. And so I've got one more basket right here, which is currently just like, this is what I'm dealing with, kind of sort of still sorting stuff. So anyway, still kind of work in progress up there. Decided that I wanted to add a label, and it's literally a binder clip, and I opened a pack of note cards. This is what we're working with here, folks. So I did a binder clip, and the note card, I just cut it in half and wrote it on there. I think it looks really nice, and it's going to really help, I think, the kids just to make sure that they're actually putting stuff back. I am really, really thrilled with the progress. I've got some more stuff to kind of clean out on the bottom, but for the moment, I am just honestly thrilled to have this cabinet open when before I was like, hurry and close the door. So it's working really well. Are you ready for the big reveal? So excited. What do you think? I'm so excited. I just want to leave this open and like look at it all day. Except for it's the end of the day and I'm going to be going to bed soon because this was a big project and I am absolutely thrilled with the way it's turned out. All of my kids have been through at different points and they're like, Mommy, it looks so nice. I'm like, you're right. I just get busy and don't always get back to doing the refresh. So here we are. We're going to start at the top. We've got extra treats, crackers, supplements, extra little overflow stuff. Some of these things I decided were in like my overflow cabinet for like when we go to Costco and stuff. but stuff was just shoved. And so I realized that the stuff that I want to have access to in this cabinet are stuff that's probably going to get pulled down pretty quickly. And if there's extra like Gatorades and stuff, those can go in this overflow cabinet, like close where the kids can grab them. Pasta, I have already showed you the pasta thing, and then behind it, I've got extra pasta there. This shelf here, I actually have shifted around a little bit. I've kind of reorganized the boxes a couple different times. I've got the cans pretty well situated. I'm pretty happy with that. That one stayed pretty similar. I've shuffled some stuff a little bit. This basket here, I've got the chips in here with a couple extra chips behind it. So if we have a little extra overflow, those can kind of tuck in back there. So that works really well. We've got bread and peanut butter there. I did go ahead and tip these big ones on their side, and I put the type crunchy or creamy. And so anything that they're going to use for lunch is generally in that vicinity. We've got the snacks, crackers, and then snacks, more snacks. So they can pull this stuff out. They can grab what they need real quick. Tucked in the mangoes. Those look great there. So that's going to be a well-utilized shelf. A little bit lower, this is where it got a little tricky. I kind of shifted some of the stuff around because originally the snacks were lower and they were all in this type of a basket. And I decided to tuck in the granola bars in this one in a larger basket that fit nicely under that shelf there. So that worked out really well. And then I put like the sweets and some of the other stuff a little bit lower. A little bit lower, I want to talk about these. So I decided I was going to have a miscellaneous open basket. That basket is actually kind of like the extra Cheez-Its, the extra gold, the stuff that's open. So it's not getting lost somewhere else in the pantry. And I decided my kids are quite a bit older. They're not little anymore. I don't need to have all the sweets up really high. But like when we have different holidays and stuff, sometimes we'll get like a mixed bag of treats or whatever, and they'll, grab a treat at some point throughout the day. And so I don't suspect these sweets will stay here forever. Eventually it'll probably be like a miscellaneous basket. And then I have hot beverages. I decided right now it's wintertime when this is being filmed. And so I may end up putting like extra teas and stuff in there. And so I thought hot beverages kind of like was a nice category. And then the bottom, decided I wanted to give a try of putting the Instapot down there because I felt like it's not something that I use all the time, but if I'm making a lot of bone broth or certain specific things, I'm going to be using it and I want to be able to pull it out of the cabinet. So that is that. And again, a quick last look of this gorgeous pantry. I am stoked at how that turned out. And then of course, we've already talked about the door of what's going on here. So the quick granola bars or snacks or hydration drinks, whatever they need, are there and working well. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Okay, Robin, that's cute. What's the rest of the room look like? I'm so glad you asked. We've got a couple of baskets that I'm going to have to go through with the kids. So we have some decisions to make. First, this is my pile. I have plastic bags that I need to figure out. I thought they might live in the pantry. It is very apparent they're not going to live in the pantry. I'm going to come up with a new solution. I have some ideas. I'm going to work on another cabinet sometime soon. And so for right now, I'm going to give myself permission and I'm going to put them in the bottom of the pantry, knowing that that is where they are at the moment, but they are not going to stay there because I don't have room in the cabinet that I think I want to put them in. So this small little pile is a work in progress. This one here is a basket full of stuff. I need to ask the kids, do they like the apple peach? I've got one kid who I know is a no. I don't know about the other two. I've got some cookies that don't know if they even like. Some cereals, some pretzels, some Tic Tacs. I think one of my kids still likes this, but I'm not sure. Some other random applesauce. So there's some stuff in here that I want the boys to take a look at and see if they're going to eat. I know my daughter would not eat them, which brings me to this bag. Ooh, I know I like these ones. It's like Almond Joy. I love those. There's some stuff in here. This is just potentially candy from Halloween and I don't know what else. So we're going to have to sort through this bag and see if there's anything that they actually want, or if it's not something that they want, we'll just get rid of it. But basically, I'm feeling pretty excited about the progress because not only this was a big project, it took me several hours to kind of like get stuff out, sort it. And I had stopping points at different parts of the day because I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to get all of this done, but I'm hoping to get most of this done. And then as I went through each and every section, I tried to think about like which kids need access to what, how often are they using it? Like if they're not making brownies every day, they probably don't need brownies down low, but that is definitely something they can get the stool, reach up high to get, they can get, put the stool away, things like that. So those are some just different things that I think about as I'm organizing a space and as I'm working in an area, because I recognize that I'm not the only one working in this space. So I have my stuff tucked to the side, and the kids don't like the same granola bars. They don't like the same treats that I like. And so those are tucked to the side. Those are mommy's things. And then the stuff that everybody is using, or most of the people are using, is in a more accessible space. It's organized in a way they're going to use it. And hopefully it will stay organized for quite some time. That's the goal. So hopefully as I refresh or reset the space, kind of keep an eye on stuff, it'll help me to also manage the inventory that's in there. Remember that organizing is an ebb and flow. It's not going to be perfect the first time. And in fact, when you find something that's not working, think about how can you make it work? What's going to work better? And ask your family, like, hey, is this working in the space? Or, if you have ideas, I'm open to suggestions, because often my kids are constantly giving me ideas. They're like, hey, mom, I think this would work better here. And I'm like, I love your brain. Like, kiss your brain. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for giving me the idea or sharing that with me or looking at it differently, because when you work collaboratively with your families, it can be an amazing result. So don't be afraid to ask your kids. Sometimes they have really great ideas, and they look at stuff completely differently, which I personally value highly, because sometimes, like towards the end, I was very tired and my brain was like, girl, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So anyway, thank you for being here for this closet, this pantry renovation, not renovation, what's it called? Reorganization, because it had started and then it had morphed and then it had changed and it really isn't working anymore. So I'm really glad that you were here with me, because remember, we're all on this journey together. It is one day at a time. It is one space at a time. So thank you for being here. Thanks for being you. And thanks for joining me in my journey. We'll see you next time. Side quest complete. Woo! Okay, so I have a little side quest. Somebody in a Buy Nothing group is going to pick something up today. It's Old Spice containers that I've just had sitting in my cabinet. Don't need them anymore, so I had to get that all situated and had a little side quest. I'm like, I have a lot of stuff I was not needing and not using. So if you are not yet already involved in Buy Nothing, I just learned they had an app. So I got on a little appy thing and was like playing with it, and um, have something that somebody needs. So I am giving that away today, which is pretty exciting. Or if you have like a habitat, are they called like a restore or like a women's shelter, different places that you can donate stuff to that you're not using, that's like really great stuff, please do not throw it away. Take it to somebody that can use it, because I was thinking about this morning. Here's some getting real with Robin moments here. So this morning I was literally just thinking about how many people talk about, oh, overconsumption. Well, you have people who are paying for trash. So instead of driving to some place, because that costs you time, right? A lot of people will put stuff in the trash, which personally is like, it hurts my soul. I would love for people to donate more. I would love for more people to recognize that there's places that will like pick up your stuff and you just have to schedule it, and then they will pick it up and take it to the donation center. I don't know every city, every state, every country, everything, but please donate what you can, because I am huge on upcycling if you can. So please just note to self, memo to the world, please donate, please recycle, please upcycle, please all the things, because there's people out there who can really benefit from your stuff. So that's it. Off my soapbox.